All right, we all want to be rich someday, right? But here's the thing, no one's being real about what it really takes to actually get there. You might even hate me for saying this, but being rich, it's not just about the money. If you think being rich is just about fancy cars, designer bags, we've got to talk. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, your favorite financial planner to help you financially thrive and not just survive. And let's talk about the real stuff no one tells you about getting rich, because trust me, social media today isn't showing you the whole picture. These 6 small mental shifts I'm going to share today are designed to help you push forward on your financial journey and actually become that hashtag certified rich bitch. Yeah, and make sure to stick around, because number 6 is literally the reason why people stay broke. So let's get into it. Number 1, money is just a tool, not the goal. Let me break it down for you. Money by itself, it's just paper or numbers on a screen these days. It's not happiness, it's not success. But here's the thing, money can be your ultimate tool for creating freedom if you know how to use it. Think about it. What's the real reason you want to be rich? Is it just to have a fat ass bank account, or is it to create a life you really enjoy? Here's what people don't talk about. If all you do is chase the numbers, chase the money, it'll never feel like enough. And I'm gonna be the first person to raise my hand on this. Why? Because there's always someone with more. Straight up. There's always gonna be someone with more, always another car, a bigger house, a more expensive handbag. But if you use money as a tool to buy freedom, like retiring early, taking care of your family, if that's something that you aspire to do, quitting that toxic job of yours, you'll feel wealthier and richer than probably most billionaires out there. And let me give you an example. Imagine you've got 10 grand in the bank. If all you're doing is staring at that number, you're probably stressing out about how it's not 50,000. But what if you use that $10,000 to start your own side hustle, or pay down your debt, or invest in yourself? Now that $10,000 isn't just money, it's a stepping stone to something bigger. Money is energy. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what would you actually do with more money? You're putting a purpose behind this thing that can eventually help you get to places, to get to that thing. That's what money is. It's a tool. It's a transaction for you to get to the places where you want to go. It shouldn't be the end all be all goal. And if it is for you, you're on the wrong channel. Sorry, not sorry. Bye. Would you use it to quit that 9-to-5 you hate, travel the world, move to your dream city? Because if you're just chasing cash without a plan for how it fits into your life, you're definitely gonna feel burnt out and feel unfulfilled. And listen, if you think being rich is all about making more money, just wait till we get to point number 5. It's gonna flip your whole mindset on how wealth and richness really works. This next one is kind of harsh too, but it's super important. Number 2, your circle controls your ceiling. Repeat that for the people in the back. Your circle controls your ceiling. You know that saying, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? Yeah, it's not just this cute Pinterest quote, it's a freaking rule. And here's the harsh truth about it. If your circle isn't lifting you up, they're probably holding you back. Let me ask you this. When was the last time your friends talked about saving, investing, or growing their money? Now, when was the last time they suggested blowing your paycheck on a night out or buying something you don't need? Exactly. The people you surround yourself can make or break your financial future and make or break you being rich. Imagine you're trying to save $5,000 for your first investment, which, by the way, you don't need that. And I go step by step into videos on this all the time, how you can invest with as little as $100 or even $10 to start. But anyway, $5,000, you want to save up for that first investment. Every time you're with your friends, they're convincing you to eat out, buy the latest iPhone, book that last minute trip. It's not that they're bad people. You or they just don't share or know your goals. Now imagine the opposite. What if your circle included people who challenged you to grow? Friends who were like, hey, have you started investing yet? Dude, that's literally been me. Or let's brainstorm your next side hustle. Again, me. That energy I absolutely freaking love. So let's be friends. If this is you, let's become friends. Subscribe. I come to you week by week and we chat. We live it the freak up. That's a difference between staying stuck and leveling up. So here's the uncomfortable question that only you can really answer. Are your friends helping you climb or keeping you stuck at the bottom? It's hard, but sometimes you outgrow people, and that's okay. Protecting your energy and your goals isn't selfish, it's necessary. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you need to drop all your friends tomorrow, but if no one in your circle is talking about growth, goals, investments, you might need to find a new crew who gets it. You don't need to have, I want to call this out too, you don't need to have a few millionaire friends right away. Start small, join online communities like Rich Bitch Club, follow creators who inspire you. Me, certified rich bitch. Go to networking events where people are talking about goals and building wealth. Surround yourself, even virtually, with people who have the energy you want to match. Hell, that's how I freaking did it. Like, I come from small town in upstate New York, and I've always been online talking with people. That's how I got cultured and know what's going on in the world. Like, yeah, the more you surround yourself with ambitious, growth-minded people, the more you'll start to think like them. And that mindset shift, priceless, priceless, priceless. All right, now let me hit you with something wild. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. The sooner you start investing, the easier it is for you to get rich. And that brings me to point number 3. Start investing early. Compounding is magic. Literally, it's the cheat code nobody taught us in school. And if they did teach you that in school, please drop a comment below, because I have yet to hear that this is being taught in schools like nationally or even globally if you're watching this from outside the world. And the secret sauce, compounding. It's not just math, it's practically little magic, little pixie dust. Here's how compounding works. You invest money, that money earns interest or grows, and then that growth also earns interest. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger on its own. You're literally making money on your money. Let's put some numbers on it, because I know this sounds really too good to be true and kind of sketch, to be honest. So let's say that you invest $100 a month starting at age 22. If your money grows at an average of 8% a year, which is pretty freaking standard for the stock market, by the time you're 60, you'll have about $450,000. And guess what? Most of that isn't even money you put in, it's the growth from compounding. The person who starts with less money but starts earlier actually beats the person who invests way more but waits. That is the power of time. Let me give you another example here to make this hit home even harder. If you want to retire rich with $1 million, if you start at age 25, you only need to invest about $300 a month. But if you wait until 35, you need to invest almost $800 a month to hit that same goal. And if you were to wait until you're 45, yeah, you're gonna need to invest about $2,000 a month. That hurts. That really freaking hurts. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're 45, but you can still do it. That's the thing. That's the exciting thing. You still have time. You can still do it. Just a little bit more effort up front. The math is simple. The math is mathing. This is girl math. The earlier you start, the less you have to work for your money. So girl coded. And the more your money works for you. Investing is the way. Now, before we go any further, let me crush one of the biggest myths holding people back. You don't need to be rich to start investing. A lot of platforms today, you can start with as little as $5, even $1. Seriously, skip your next coffee, your matcha, your tea, if you're like me, your boba, and you're already an investor. There's no excuse anymore. I have so many videos on this. Watch it, binge it, get that popcorn, leave this on a glass of wine Friday night, you got it. And you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to pick the perfect stocks or wait for the right time in the market. Just start with an index fund or a beginner-friendly ETF. Think of it as planting your seeds. You'll thank yourself later. And check out the link in the description for some recommended accounts to help you get started and an investing cheat sheet guide that is going to help you out in the long run to help you, no stress, invest. Investing early is powerful, but if you don't have the right mindset, all the money in the world won't help you get rich. Now, this next one is where we really start unlocking the mental shift that separates the rich from everybody else. Number 4, your money mindset will make or break you. Say what you want, but rich is a mindset long before it's a reality. I freaking love this. You need to read the book Start Thinking Rich by my friends Adrian and Dr. Brad. Deadass for real, go and check it out. I'm gonna leave it in the link in the description. You could have all the money in the world, the best job ever, even killer investment opportunities, but if your mindset ain't right, you're never gonna get rich, all right? Say it with me. Rich is a mindset before it is a reality. Rich is a mindset before it is a reality. And no, that's not some cliche quote, it's facts. Let's talk about the 2 types of mindsets that either make or break you becoming a certified rich bitch. Scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. A scarcity mindset sounds like this. I'll never make enough, money is the root of all evil, I just need to survive till payday. But here's the shift. An abundance or rich mindset is where you realize that money isn't limited. It's everywhere. People are making money in so many different ways every single day. Instead of thinking, I'll never have enough, you start asking, how can I create or make more? That tiny shift, game changer. Your mindset controls your actions and your actions control your outcomes. If you're constantly telling yourself that you'll never be rich, you're going to subconsciously make decisions that are keeping you freaking broke. But if you train your brain to think in terms of opportunity, solutions, and growth, you'll start making choices that move you closer to getting rich every single day. All right, so how do you actually fix this? Here are 3 simple steps to get your mindset thinking in that certified rich bitch mode. Practice gratitude for what you have. If you've always focused on what you don't have, you're blocking yourself from seeing opportunities. Start by writing down 3 things you're grateful for, big or small, every single day. It could be that you have just freaking clean water or have the ability to shower in hot water. Things like that. It doesn't have to be huge like you were just on the cover of Times Magazine. No, start small and eventually it'll grow. Visualize your financial goals. I know it sounds woo-woo, but it freaking works, all right? Close your eyes and imagine the life that you want. Your dream apartment, a debt-free bank account, traveling the world. Then you ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to get closer to that? Reframe negative thoughts about money. Every single time you catch yourself saying something like, I can't afford that, how can you change it to, how can I afford that? This tiny shift forces your brain to start looking for solutions instead of focusing on the problem. Tunnel vision on that problem. No. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm still in my early 20s, but back in my earlier 20s, I'm 24 now, I used to think that saving money meant giving up everything fun. I realized I was stuck in a scarcity mindset and it was holding me back. And once I started focusing on growing my income, speaking with a mentor, instead of shrinking my life, that's when everything changed. I like to focus on the top line rather than the bottom line. The bottom line can only go so bottom, but the top line is infinite. And look, fixing your mindset is huge, but it's not enough by itself. The next step to getting rich is about what you own, not just what you earn, which brings us to point number 5. Owning stuff beats getting a paycheck. This one's controversial, but hear me out on it. If all you're doing is trading your time for money, you're never gonna get rich. Like never, ever. I don't care if you're making 6 figures at your 9 to 5, relying solely on a paycheck means you're stuck in the rat race, and there's so many articles to just prove this here. And the key to getting out on this is owning stuff, not just stupid shit, guys. Whether it's stocks, a business, real estate, or even intellectual property, IP, owning assets, things that generate you money is what is going to get you rich. Paychecks are nice, but they're limited by two things: your time and your employer. You have only 24 hours in a day, and your boss decides how much those hours are your worth. But when you own something, your income isn't capped. Your money can grow while you sleep. Your money is your best employee. That's what they mean when they say make your money work for you. Think of getting rich like a money tree. At the bottom, you've got your active income, your trunk. That's really kind of like your paycheck supporting your systems and things like that. And sure, it's important. The fun stuff is at the top. The money leaves, the cash cows, those branches. That's the passive income. That's money from things like stocks, rental properties, or dividends. The goal? Build enough of that passive income so that you can stop relying on your paycheck entirely. It's like this. You want to get to a point where if you quit your job tomorrow, you'd still be bringing in cash from the stuff that you own. That is what financial freedom is. Now, let me ask you this. When you get your paycheck, what's the first thing that happens? Taxes. Uncle Sam takes a chunk before you even see it. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, most of that money is already gone by the time the month ends. Owning assets flips the script. Assets grow and often come with tax advantages. So for example, when you make money from investments, you might pay lower taxes compared to your paycheck. Now here's a mindset shift that'll change your life. Stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an owner. Employees trade time for money, but owners trade ideas, assets, and strategy for wealth and getting rich. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. And you might be thinking, okay, Taylor, this sounds great, but I don't have thousands of dollars lying around to buy real estate or start a business. No worries, start small. Here's how. Invest in fractional shares is number one. So many different platforms. I have a bunch in the description. Let you buy tiny pieces of stocks, ETFs, crypto, even if you only have $5 to invest. Number two, create some sort of digital asset, something small like an ebook, a digital download that you can sell online, a printable. It doesn't have to be perfect, just get started. Number three, consider REITs, real estate investment trusts. If real estate feels out of reach, REITs can let you invest in real estate without needing to buy an entire property. And there's one specifically down below in the link that I like too, so check that out. When I first started investing, I didn't have thousands of dollars to buy a rental property or build a business. So I started with fractional shares, literally $20, $50, $100, eventually hundreds of dollars. Over time, those small investments grew into something way bigger now. And I'm so freaking happy to say that I have a six-figure portfolio. You don't need to start big, you just need to start. That thing is gonna snowball if you keep on being disciplined and contributing to it over and over and over again. Owning assets is the key to getting rich, but there is a catch. None of it matters if you're secretly sabotaging yourself with this one mistake. And that's exactly what we're tackling in point number 6, the hidden trap that keeps the most people broke. Lifestyle inflation will keep you broke. This one's going to hit some of you hard. You know what I'm talking about. That tendency to spend more as soon as you start making more, new job, you upgrade your apartment, raise at work, time for a nicer car, bonus check, let's splurge on a nice vacation. Sound familiar? Yes, it does. Don't lie to yourself. If it's hitting a little too close to home, don't worry, I've been there too. Lifestyle inflation is when your expenses rise to match or even outpace your current income. You're making more, but somehow you're not saving or investing more. Instead, you're just spending on stuff you think you need. The result, you're stuck in the same financial spot no matter how much your paycheck grows. If you're constantly upgrading your lifestyle, you'll never get ahead. Why? Because you're spending every single dollar you make instead of fucking getting rich. And trust me, this is how people make $100,000 a year and yet still feel freaking broke. They're stuck in this cycle of working harder, earning more, and guess what? Fucking living it up more and partying more and having so much funsies. Lifestyle inflation feels justified. You convince yourself, I deserve this. I'm making more now. It's fine. Let's live it up. I'm gonna buy this round of drinks, everybody. But if you're not saving or investing a chunk of that extra income, you're just keeping yourself in the same financial stress. Except now it's a little fancier apartment or maybe a newer car. Imagine you just land this raise at work and start making an extra $1,000 a month. And instead of keeping your expenses the same and investing that $1,000, you upgrade your apartment, you buy a new car, and suddenly you're spending $1,200 more per month. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, why am I feeling all this stress? Now you're actually worse off financially than you were before the raise. Sound familiar? Yeah, that used to be me. So how do you fight back against lifestyle inflation and actually get ahead? It's simpler than you think, but harder than you think as well too. So some few steps that I have for you right now is to pay yourself first. And before you even touch that new paycheck of yours, automate a percentage of it into your savings or investment. If you can, start with 20%. That way you're building wealth, getting rich first, and doing the spending second. I want you to create a lifestyle upgrade rule. Here's the game changer. For every income increase, allow yourself to spend half of it on lifestyle upgrades and save and invest in the other half. This way you're gonna enjoy and actually celebrate that win as well too, but at the same time, you're gonna be getting richer because you're investing. This is something that I wish I had defined a lot earlier as well too. Define what enough looks like, because if you don't, it's just gonna be this never-ending cycle. I want you to take a look at yourself for a minute here and ask, like, what does enough look like to you? Do you really need that bigger apartment? Are you upgrading because you can or because you have to? Sometimes staying where you are financially while making more money is the fastest way to getting rich. Every dollar you don't spend on lifestyle inflation is a dollar you can put towards your freedom. That freedom could mean retiring early, starting your dream business, traveling the world. But if you spend every extra penny, you're basically robbing yourself of those future opportunities. And listen, spending less is huge for getting rich, but the thing is, no amount of cutting back will make you rich if you're not also focusing on growth. That's why everything we talked about so far comes together with this final point: how to combine mindset, ownership, and discipline to actually getting rich and feeling and being that certified rich bitch. And there you have it, guys. 6 game-changing truths about getting rich no one is really talking about. Honestly, if you made it this far, you're already ahead of most people because you're actually taking the time to learn what it takes to really get rich. And listen, if you only take one thing away from this video, let it be this: getting rich is about thinking long-term. It's not about how much money you can earn today. It's about what you can do with the money to create freedom, opportunities, and live the life that you actually want to live. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I know you're going to become that rich bitch if you keep on tuning in. Subscribe down below. This channel is all about helping you financially thrive, not just survive. And the fact that you're here means you're already investing into yourself. Be sure to check out the links in the description for additional resources that are gonna help you kickstart you getting rich. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.